welcome to the Viva Ya podcast, where I'm your host, V. My friends call me V. I'm into that. And this is my thoughts after interviewing my friend Phil. Honored to call him a friend. He definitely has me very reverent afterwards. I think I'm realizing the dynamic we have, the two of us have. I'm a fan of him, and because I'm a fan of him, there's like a duality going on between me trying to be a friend and then me trying to be a fan. And that's a similar dynamic with my other friend that I'm going to be interviewing today. And I'm expecting an interruption shortly. And now I'm self-conscious and thinking, how the hell am I going to record this thing?
Got some snackies?
Yeah, absolutely. Shit, what can I feed you?
Don't even.
I have like dates. The most immediate things, I don't have like any crunchy, other than granola.
Damn, I had dried mango and I bring it. But I
The
got
dates are pretty good. I can totally pause this and get you some dates and get right back to it.
All right, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, we are back. SJ just arrived. We're going to be interviewing in a minute, and she needs some snackies. Hopefully you caught that, but just letting you know that's what's going on. Let's get back to Phil. I was talking about how I feel like I have a duality I'm experiencing while I speak to him, because I saw him for the longest time as just someone from a distance, like an observer and as a fan. And of course I was like drawn to him. I looked at him, I would see his like outfits and the way he stumbles around like an old man. I was just like, this guy's just, who the fuck is this dude? And then the way he spins, the way he fire spins is just incredible. The flow state that he gets into, the kind of cavalier nature he has about it when he puts out fires that he makes on his body. It's just, he's very much feels like a fire wielder, a fire tamer. He's a person I'm in awe of, feeling very reverent after talking to him about it, because there was questions I asked that he really cares about not having an ego. And I think that's why we eventually connected. I never was presumptuous about him. I don't assume when I share spaces with other people that they're my friends too. And eventually we connected through a mutual person. Her admiration of him kind of gave me another perspective on him, kind of maybe even humanized him a bit more, but then at the same time still made him seem like so manly. And I know he doesn't think of himself this way. He just thinks of himself as like, oh, this is what I am. And it's that sense of humility ultimately that I think is what allows us to have a friendship. And we definitely connect in a very kind of adolescent kind of way. He was saying something about feeling like he was back in middle school, and that warmed my heart. I do feel like sometimes I meet people and we just have an understated connection. We get each other right away. And I'm gonna be interviewing another friend that I've been seeing a while, and now he's one of my favorite people ever. He's going to be coming up soon. He's one of the people I was originally thinking of interviewing, you know? But I didn't expect to get Phil so soon. In my head, he's kind of like a local celebrity. He totally doesn't act like it. He's not full of himself, like, at all. It's such a sweet, endearing thing about him. But at the same time, he's such a fucking clown. I just see him whipping around on his wheels. I saw him the other day. He was on my list, and in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I can't ask him yet. Like, he's a busy guy, he's a performer, I don't know him like that. And he lives near me. And he rides around on an electric unicycle. And at one point, I'm just coming outside on my bike. I'm pulling my bike out. I'm to leave my apartment, home place. And I see someone swaying side to side, moving forward. And it's him. And he's like, hey. And I just figured we're going to say hi. And he's like, hey, you want to ride for a bit? And I'm like, yeah, I'm headed towards this street. I think I'd have to turn off on Massachusetts Ave. And so he's like, okay. And we talk. And then he shares with me things that are going on in his life and the things he's struggling with. And he's got a bit more availability is what I learned. This must be my affirmation. Yeah, it's just been a big learning experience to see like what I need to do to get people comfortable and open and candid. Because for the most part, everyone wants to talk about everything until they're asked. And certain things people are able to talk about more. Phil was much more candid about his relationship to Flow Jam, weekly fire arts performance kind of thing that goes on in Buffalo. He was very happy and very quick to promote it, but if I tried to make it focused on him, he got really shy and bashful. It was such a cute thing, because he acted like at first that none of these questions were going to be too much. It was just, it was just sweet, and I felt like I had such a good time, and I feel like I'm just going to be listening to these interviews and just like crying. It's incredible to me how much these have just lifted up my heart. I've been incredibly depressed, some of the most depressed. I'm baseline kind of depressed. I definitely have a little bit of a cloud over my head, and I'm not wearing it like proudly. It's just something that's been perceived in me from people who know me intimately. And I also have an outward reputation, for the most part in the last few years, as being like very happy to be there and social, and people think I'm an extrovert because I'm very deliberate about where I show up in the spaces I'm in. And I kind of see a similar thing with him. He doesn't hesitate to spend his time the way he wants to. He doesn't feel like a person who's doing things he has to do unless he has like no other choice for like survival. You know, like what he really wants to do and what I would love to help him do is just live his life stumbling around in the woods as an old man. Like if I could just give the life my friends really want, like help support that in any way. He didn't really want to promote his wood engraving work. I'm going to probably find a way to talk about that more. He's too sweet. He just kind of has like a rascal kind of clown vibe to him that I really like adore. I just really adore it. And the conversation, he made me laugh so much. It was all over the place. I cared more about just having a candid conversation that flowed, and we'd have chunks of time that are like that where it just flowed and we talked about a whole bunch of things, and then I'd kind of bring it back with maybe some questions to some really hilarious answers. It's always fun to hear how people interpret some of the questions. And I just feel really honored. I never kind of imagined he'd make that kind of time for me. And it's not because he's not a generous person. It's just me trying my best to not be presumptuous. And he just seemed to enjoy his time with me. And I was like, oh, I never imagined that we'd necessarily become friends. I just see people around sometimes. And at this point in my life, being 38, almost 39, if things are meant to happen, they'll happen. There's no hurry. There's no rush. You know, it's kind of wild to see people around for a few years and then become closer, intimate friends with them. Just really wanted to share that all with y'all. I may have not mentioned that I'm also doing another interview podcast, but I'm not trying to promote it right now. I'm trying to keep it more low-key because I want to like promote it when I'm ready to promote it. So this might be stuff you'll hear again later, or maybe I might use for like behind the scenes kind of shit, but I don't know. I'm still working out things in my head, and this is the place for me to do that. And that's why I don't care about it sounding like exactly a certain way. I'm trying to maintain a kind of production consistency with that one. And this one, I'm just using all the things available to me to just have fun with a mic in front of me, because it's just so much easier than doing video work and film work, which I've done. So I definitely really like the production element of things. It's fun to do. It's fun to be kind of like taking the lead, getting a concentrated dose of time with my friends. And I'm going to be interviewing with SJ, and I just know that once I have that, it's going to be an incredible interview because we're really close and she knows me too well, enough to like poke at the bear. I just know once that happens, I'm going to be thinking about that mostly, and I'm going to have reactions that I'm going to want to give. And I don't know if I want her to hear it when I'm doing it, you know? Like I kind of feel self-conscious if somebody's there. I don't care what she hears about me say about Phil. She's somewhere in the background snacking. I just closed up the door. Makes it harder to interrupt. I'm going to be interviewing her, and I can definitely say it's going to be spicy. That's just her personality, and she brings it out of me. And yeah, she's also an old friend of mine in terms of Buffalo, the era of Buffalo. And I think that's it. I think I should get to, doing the whole guest intake processing. I'm like, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to expect, and blah, 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 blah. And then it's all about getting them comfortable. And so she needed snackies. Okay, in that case, I'm going to sign off for this and get right to that. So thank you for listening. You've been listening to Viva Ya podcast. This is me, V. My friends call me V. You can call me V too. And I want to just thank you so much for listening to me ramble.